It's a grand breakdown of society, is what I'm saying.
What? Oh, wait, hold on. Because we like superheroes?
Because we're not farming anymore, Bruce.
We are.
We don't know how to farm
There
anymore.
are people farming right now, Lawrence.
Yeah, they still farm.
We're farming up the views.
They're owned by
no,
Monsanto.
They're doing it with robots, and then they just talk about Wolverine all
Do
the
the
time.
intro. Wow, look at how bright we are in color.
Wow, holy
We fixed
crap.
it.
It looks so nice.
Wow,
Hopefully we sound
James
good,
looks
too.
great.
Hey, James, how you
Look
doing?
how slouched Tyronis. Oh, man.
Double
welcome,
the Bruce.
Welcome to more colorful, hopefully properly lit bowl of dude soup. Your episode today is brought by 3 sponsors. First of all is Blue Apron. You can go to blueapron.com/soup for 2 free meals with new orders. They're basically a ingredients by mail service. We're also sponsored by Mac Weldon, who makes fine underwears. Go to macweldon.com/podcast
Yes, sir.
and use our promo code SOUP for 20% off your order. And finally, by Movement Watches. We're in these fine timepieces today. Go to movementwatches.com/dudesoup for 15% off your order. It's kind of complicated, but we'll hear more from them later, as is usually the case. Pretty sure you have to use Iron Man there and blow up the silver thing.
Sure.
Use your repulsor blast.
Oh, boy.
Boom!
Now you can build a thing. Lego games are great.
I don't know about great.
They're great.
They're okay.
They're not great for me, but go on.
So, as shown by the fact that we're playing a Marvel game today, we are clearly going to discuss Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
The
What do you
one
guys
and
think?
only true film.
Tobey Maguire, good, bad?
Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield? Which one was the best Spider-Man?
No one cares.
Oh, yep. They forgot about
There
Andrew
were
Garfield.
2 bros discussing Civil War when it got out, and they were saying like, I like that new kid. He's really good. He's better than that Andrew Garfunk. And I was like, yep.
They got Garfunk. That's
They were close.
Look, they got 3/4 of the name right. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's
Can't really
good.
ask for more.
It's fine.
I don't know, man. Good shit. Like,
Civil
What?
War?
Civil War is great.
Civil War's
Awesome.
fucking awesome. So I tweeted it, but I mean, like, you know, in case you didn't see the tweet, it was 4 or 5 movies led up to Avengers, and everybody kind of blew their minds. It was like, I can't believe they did an ensemble movies. It's so cool, blah, blah, blah. There's 12 movies that lead up to Civil War, and I think if Civil War pays off most of them pretty well. That's the way I felt about it. I liked this more than Avengers. I thought it had more of a story.
same here. I thought it was a better ensemble movie. I thought it's crazy to think back on it, and it's really kind of it's a triumph of writing, directing, everything. But they really have like 2 lines to pay off most characters, and those are written perfectly and delivered perfectly.
Yeah, they are.
And it's ridiculous when you really think back to how little screen time they have to sell the setup and execution of characters interacting with each other, and they do it. And just down to little things like Ant-Man calling Hawkeye Arrow Man, like it's just.
I know.
And that's another thing, man, on a grander scale. And boy, is it easy to compare this to Batman v Superman, considering they tried to do the same thing.
It is and it
arguably,
isn't.
yeah.
It's a weird, I don't know. It's like comparing a JV team to an NFL team or like a pro team. Well, no, because they've had, like Bruce was saying, they had 12 years or 12 movies to build up to this.
Oh, okay.
Whereas Batman v Superman was like, get out there, son. And like, well, we didn't have any practice. Like, figure it out.
Just play the game. Like,
Do what they did, but
Yeah.
better. Yeah. You 4-year-olds, come on. Score a fucking touchdown.
Yeah, I was a little worried because,
hold the ball.
well, I let hype get to me, unfortunately, because Bruce was saying how good it was, and then you said it was good. You guys were actually being pretty cool about it.
We're trying to be measured, yeah.
Yeah, which,
And it sucks to just have somebody be like, holy shit.
What?
Also, like, I don't know, man. Comic book movies are okay, but they're not going to teach me about life. Like,
No,
I'm
God,
not
no.
going to come in and gush about Muscle Man punching each other.
no, watch it like trash
cool.
TV. Just
Yeah.
enjoy it for what it
It's
is.
like Transporters 2.
Yeah, enjoy it for the spectacle. But my thing, what?
She said Transporters too.
Oh, you said, I thought you
Transporters shoes.
were saying,
Great action movie.
I said spectacle wrong. I was like, no, I didn't.
No, you did not. Lawrence spoke wrong.
I mean, I could have, and I wouldn't know it. But my worry was, because in the very beginning, I thought, okay, so I remember tweeting a while ago, I remember I saw the first trailer, I'm like, this is kind of fascinating, because this movie could potentially have no villains and it'd be really good. And people are like, Crossbones is in it. Yeah,
that's
for
the very beginning.
For 35 seconds. And if you want to say Crossbones was the villain of the film, go nuts, idiots. Sorry, I'm being mean. But no, that was actually, I remember walking away from the movie and being like, okay, this is pretty cool, because there was no actual real villain.
There really wasn't.
You can talk about we'll talk about the other guy later. Forget what was it, Zumo or whatever.
Oh, speaking of which, spoilers.
Zemo, sorry.
Heavy
Oh
spoilers.
yeah. This is giant spoiler.
I
We also
apologize.
assumed because the movie made $900 billion
I
that.
apologize, though. I meant to say
Ever
that.
so.
And that's
Sorry.
not spoilers.
We're too excited.
So, yeah.
I
Sorry.
don't know, is it...
Anyway, very beginning though, I was a little scared because I saw Falcon's little bird thing, and it looked like some of the crappiest CGI I've seen in a while. I was like,
very good, yeah.
I was like, this isn't good. But then fast forward to Robert Downey Jr.'s face as young Robert Downey Jr., and I was like,
That was amazing.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm back in. You got me. I thought it was makeup. I'm pretty sure that was a robot.
No, that was CG for sure.
Holograms.
Yeah, that was like when they put Paul Walker's face on his brother.
The most jarring part was sort of the beginning of the movie. Then the rest of it is like, it's a pretty interesting little romp. You're like, you have a lot of questions, and there's some really good kind of character development, I guess, for like throwaway characters like Ant-Man, where you're like, oh wow, they actually had they got everyone in there. That's neat.
Yeah.
No.
And it was funny just to see them all interact. And one of the things that I thought was you have to transform into Bruce Banner, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
just have a conversation. Don't look at the fucking game.
I'm looking at it. I'll do whatever I want. You can't
That's
tell me what
fine.
to do. Look at him. Oh, it's so cute.
It's so stupid.
So it's interesting because shit, man, I lost my point. It's almost like I should have been talking instead of looking at
Only
Yeah.
big Lego figures like Hulk can pull.
I can listen. I can read. You two, you're talking.
What I appreciate is that Civil War, despite having very intense source material, still kept the appropriate amount of gravity. So, and I don't mean that to mean like it was serious. I think it's actually the opposite. I think that the tone that they struck when all the superheroes were fighting, with all like the little jokes and stuff that they inserted into it, made it very clear that like this is serious, but it's not world-ending.
Well, they were not out to kill each other.
Exactly.
Which
Whereas
I
in Batman v
appreciate.
Superman, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
Civil War struck the appropriate
It's civil.
tone
Yeah.
for the amount of buildup that it had, whereas Batman v Superman had less buildup and tried to be more serious.
Yeah.
And I think that is a good point. And like, you have to tailor the tone of what you're making to the amount of investment that the audience is going to have in it.
I'm glad you caught that because that was the same thing. Like basically the huge fight on the tarmac, which is at the airport, where they all fight each other. It felt like a joke fight
Yeah.
to everybody involved. And so like when somebody would get hurt, they'd be like, "That really hurt."
Yeah,
like
like,
ow. Yeah, but they obviously didn't die, or like like nobody got really super hurt until right after that fight.
Yeah, when it
and
got
that was an
real
accident. So I thought, to me, it felt like you had a bunch of your action figures out in one little space, and you're like, boom, boom, and then this guy does this, and this guy does this, except it's masterful. Like,
Well, the way Bruce said it before, and I didn't actually expect it to be as good as it was he's saying every punch had meaning behind it. And so there was like a quick scene where Black Widow and Hawkeye are fighting, and you're like, oh, shit. There's been a lot of build up to this, and there's one part where he's like, still friends, right? Like, we're still friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's
I
cute.
think the line was, "It depends how hard you hit me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and like I think it's Scarlet Witch pulls somebody off and goes like, "I noticed you were pulling your punches."
Oh, yeah.
And which is like she saw, and she was like, like you shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
And so she actually really hurts. I think it was Black Widow. I figured she throws somebody against
Yeah.
one of the stairs. But I don't know. The more I saw it 2 times. I saw it once on Thursday and once on Friday, and I liked it more the second time. I thought it was infinitely watchable. And I know you were saying like, oh, we can't really pull lessons away. I thought honestly, like yesterday, even just yesterday, we were arguing about the fact that like somebody in our group was like, well, Iron Man was obviously right, and I was like, whoa, hold on a minute.
He was trying to do the right thing.
Well, so was Captain America.
Yeah, well, sort of. I don't know.
Well, no, he obviously was. He's Captain America.
That's actually kind of the beautiful thing of this like
Right.
comic book movie made for children, and I mean really for everyone because
Yeah.
it's made really well. But everyone has an opinion that one person is right and someone's wrong, but no one really agrees on who's right or who's wrong.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's actually a sign of a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think. So what I find most interesting in the commentary about Captain America that speaks to me the most is that so Captain America, as a representation of America in this movie, refuses to compromise about anything.
Yeah.
Because he is 100% convinced he's right. He ended up being right, but even still, it kind of bugged me that the movie or the story did not ever really drive home the fact that compromise is important sometimes.
Well, they did. You missed it. It's a real quick throwaway line. Sharon Carter is saying, talking about what Peggy Carter says, and Peggy Carter says, she says, where you can compromise, you should, but where you cannot, you plant yourself like a tree. And then she gave the rest of the speech. So, yes, you're correct in the sense that he didn't compromise in the movie, but Peggy Carter's like saying like, well, you can, you should, but not if you think you can't.
Yeah.
And I know what you're saying about America and Captain America. That makes sense to me.
It's just a bummer because we're in an election season, and without getting too heavily into the politics of it, nobody is on a platform of compromise right now. Well, maybe that's a little strong, but certainly certainly the most captivating and also the most shitty. Politicians are all about, I'm going to enforce my will and take what I want, and I'm done meeting anyone halfway. It's time to make America great again and all that bullshit. And apparently, according to that person, making America great again is not talking about things, it's taking things. Or enforcing your will upon people and bringing them to where you are, as opposed to meeting halfway, which is what politics should be all about. Theoretically, politics is the art of getting everybody something, but nobody gets everything they want. Whereas in this movie, and I know how silly it is to try and compare a comic book movie to real life, or to even take it seriously.
It's not, and I'll tell you why, but finish your thought.
I don't know, it was just kind of a bummer. I was sort of hoping that at some point Captain America would be in the wrong for being so stubborn and forcible of will, but I don't know, man. His name is on the movie. I understand he's the hero.
Yeah.
And it's also a comic book movie, so big deal. It doesn't bug me that he was right in the end. I do kind of wish, so they did a good job of driving home the negative side effects of having heroes blow up everything.
Stupid fucking weapon.
You gotta make it wet.
Well, the game is saying, like, use superhero.
I need that water, so how do I fire a weapon?
You're doing it. That's how you do it.
This is great for audio listeners. So I'm going to go back to what you were saying.
Here, Lawrence, you do
Yeah,
it.
play your game as I talk at you.
Sure.
So the funny thing is that the entire Civil War saga. Did you guys ever read the comic books? The Civil War.
I read.
not.
There's a few good like recap videos you can watch on YouTube if you want to just kind of get a quick overview. But it pretty much came out of the Patriot Act of this this post 9/11 world of what of reality television and all these other things. It's actually really fascinating how most things art imitates life and vice versa.
Okay.
So yes, you can have a discussion about politics and comic books and movies that are based on comic books because they all come from the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean the movies are a reflection of our current society.
Of humanity.
Yeah, and it is funny that everyone's walking away saying like, "Oh, Cap was right." I'm the guy walking away going, "Eh." Like I still think there is somewhere in the middle because I think we were discussing yesterday and someone goes, "Well, even Iron Man says he was wrong." And like, yeah, but still, the villain in this movie was an idea. And that, to me, was kind of the most powerful thing about this movie, whereas all the other movies, like the bad guy's been Loki or Thanos or something like, some other dude. The bad guy at the end of this movie was pretty much like, he was like, all I wanted to do is destroy these guys, and all I had to do is show them a video. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's powerful. How uneasy is this group of people who are supposed to be protecting us that all it needs is for them to freaking just be like, hey, your dad got killed by this guy. Sucks, right? and then he just tears this whole thing down.
Right, and that was the thing that I think, I don't know, a lot of people, I don't know if you really thought of it this way, but I did. Iron Man basically saying the death penalty. Like, Black Panther wanted to kill, Bucky. And Iron Man wanted to kill Bucky. And usually those two issues fall on different sides.
I really hate this game, by the way.
Yeah, man.
Well, they keep saying they're
supposed to get that water. I know.
Well, they're pretty much saying you need to be Spider-Man. I don't know how to switch to Spider-Man. Like, well, you should.
You hold Y to bring up the character wheel. No, you're supposed to have the characters you need right now. I bet there's something we're supposed to build.
Well, there's something up there.
Yeah, there's sparkle things
Chandelier.
up there.
Anyway, so
I hate this game.
So like, Iron Man was like, no, we need security, and no, we need to imprison these people. And then as soon as emotion comes into it, he's like, we need to kill him. And
that was okay.
That's where that's why I keep siding with Captain America. It's just Captain America actually never let emotion in.
Yeah, you're right.
He said over and over he said I said the same thing.
He was protecting his friend.
Well, absolutely.
If Bucky wasn't his friend, that probably would have gone a completely different way.
But we don't know that. And actually, the way Captain America's acted, it's never been that way. So he's always been sort of I'm going to be this one way. Now, logically speaking, that makes more sense to me. And obviously, Cap knew that Bucky was guilty of all the things he did.
He did, but he also knew that he was mind controlled and all this other, comic booky stuff.
Well, yeah, so it brings up much larger questions of because there are lots of people that get imprisoned for really terrible crimes, but they say they're crazy. So that's sort of like being mind controlled, right? Like that's kind of a similar thing where it's like, well, should we put those people to death? What do we do with those people? And it's sort of
like they grow up in a culture that teaches them certain things and then they act on those things,
right?
Like anti-American values and shit like that. Yeah.
So
didn't think about that.
So for me, that was just I noticed that the Iron Man side of things typically was more emotional and more of well, we need to react to everything, and Cap is more of a.
I guess you're right, because he was initially motivated out of guilt.
What's that? Yeah, even Vision.
Even Vision was ruled by his emotions.
He was.
Emotions during that
He absolutely was, and that's why he says, like, I was distracted. He says, like, when he shot down War Machine, he was like, fuck, I was distracted, like, what was I thinking? Which is surprising, because he's supposedly a robot, right? So, I mean, I don't know.
You're still controlled by a mind gem or whatever.
Comic book.
Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, too, it's funny where it's like, this is based on funny little drawings in literature that, like, you know, at one point people thought was a business that was going to go away. And now we're having, like, in-depth discussions about them. It's like, it's
cool.
Yeah, no, it's modern day mythology. It's pretty badass. Yeah. And then I was going to go back to the movie, but I thought the ending was one of the smartest things about the film because it builds up to this whole thing where they go, I was worried they were going to do this sort of Batman versus Superman thing where they go, no, we need to team up. And they're like, because Iron Man shows, he goes, hey, we're cool now. I'm going to hang out with your bud. And they go, oh, here's a video of your parents or dad. He's like, okay, we're going to fucking fight. But they're like, they're building up to this other thing of like, there are these other bad guys, and they're way worse than everything else.
Yeah, I like that.
And then he walks in and he goes, oh, I killed them.
I shot them.
I was expecting like this big like team up battle.
Huge fight, yeah.
And he goes, oh no, I just shot him in the head. You guys should kill each other. And it was just like, oh my God, that was smart.
There was actually a twist that I did not expect at all.
And it wasn't, I wouldn't even say like it was a twist, but it was more of a, I don't know, what do you call it? Like, going beyond your expectations of like our
For me, it's also a red herring. Like I was expecting the same giant battles. Like, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
for
I was
them
like,
to fight
all those Winter Soldiers are gonna morph into a ball, and then they're gonna fight the ball,
and they're all dead.
And they're all dead. They just have bullets in their heads. So I was just like, oh yeah, shit.
Hey Omar, can you come out here and play this game?
God damn it! Yeah, if anybody knows what the fuck we're supposed to do, please tweet it at us.
I
played this 3 times and I don't remember what to do right here.
Well, there's a good chance you need to switch to.
There's like an Iron Man visor you got to throw on or something.
I don't know. Chances are you need to switch to Spider-Man. Go to your.
Spider-Man.
Omar, are you coming?
I don't know.
Should I really
Need to
Yeah,
watch this? Yeah, Omar, get out of here.
Really come out here.
We need to talk. We need to talk about comic
Please,
books.
Jesus.
This goes on. We always do this, and I feel
It's for 8-year-olds. We can't do it.
I like how you disconnected the controller.
I'm so mad.
I don't care. No one watches this for the video game that we're playing.
Sometimes they do.
No, if they do,
Why do you keep fucking saying that shit, man?
There you go.
I don't know how many times I have to cheer you out for dissing on the show you're on while you're on it. Stop doing that.
I am. Wait, what the fuck? No, hold on. Take that back. I'm saying people are watching this show because they want to hear us have a discussion going, fuck you, they're here for the video game.
No, we're saying that.
I'm saying good things about you, and you're saying, no, we're garbage.
They might be here for both, maybe. I don't know.
Raise your hand if you're here for the video game.
Occasionally, it gives me something to look at when I'm not talking.
That's fine. I would almost rather just watch, like, a YouTube video of someone else playing, so I don't have to.
Well, Adam, when you make a podcast, you can do whatever you want.
I am making a podcast. I don't know.
Either
This is what I love. This game is made for like borderline retarded children, and they're like, you need someone with superhero senses. You're like, oh, Spider-Man. They're like, no, Hulk.
Well, I don't think that's what you're supposed to do to wet that wall, then.
Try using a character with.
But there's a thing. There's the sparkles right there.
Yeah, I know.
They
do that stuff in these games. They show you stuff you can't do when you get there.
There's also a good chance because we're on a PC and we're using a controller that there's like something.
Button prompts that aren't.
Yeah, there's something that's like. Use the F1 key. You're like, we're using a Steam Link,
Just
so.
say press F2 or any button to start.
Yeah,
That's someone else.
All right. Well, if you were tired of feeling like a disempowered 8-year-old in the kitchen,
Unless you want to.
you can take advantage of one of our sponsors for this episode, Blue Apron.
Oh yeah.
They basically have a food by mail service where they will basically you get to pick certain recipes and then they'll ship you the ingredients every month, up to 3 times a week, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to go to the grocery store, get intimidated by buying real food in a place with human beings, trying to look at those stupid signs and figure out where the tomato paste is. Don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Here are some of the meals available in May, and I love reading food. I don't know why. There's just something about saying ingredients that makes me happy. So we've got crispy cod and cabbage slaw tacos with pepita, pineapple, and avocado salsa. We also have Middle Eastern chicken and chickpea stew with pita croutons. And pan-seared pork chops with 2 cheese mashed potatoes and sauteed spinach.
That sounds pretty good.
So if those things sound good, yeah, they basically send you all the ingredients in little prepackaged containers. All of it's recyclable. All the food is sustainable. That's a hard word to say. So it's meant to be like the ultimate food solution. You don't have to go anywhere. You get good food. You get to learn how to cook. They send you little cards with all the recipes on it.
Also, you had, like, because that would be for me, actually, because I don't know how to cook.
Yeah, they send you all, I mean, you might have to look up some directions if you don't know how to, like, slice things, but Yeah, it's pretty great service. I signed up for it. My first one's coming today,
Oh, wow.
so I'm excited to try that out. So you can check out this week's menu and get 2 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/soup.
Turn yourself off.
Yeah.
One more time, that's blueapron.com/soup. It's a really exciting service. It's the kind of thing that I wished existed for a long time. And yet, here we are. It's the future. It's a wonderful place. So please take advantage of that. Once more, it's blueapron.com/soup. Next week, I'll have more information about how that turned out.
You gonna cook?
Yeah.
You do a cooking show?
Yeah, of course. I
Film
already signed up
yourself.
for it.
Film yourself cooking.
Oh, that's a good
You should
idea.
periscope like John Reisinger.
Cut up all my hands.
He periscopes?
He periscopes himself cooking.
Really? Who's holding the camera?
Yeah, does he just
I don't
bolt
know.
it to his forehead?
He just did. He was
can't
like,
see.
"Here's me making breakfast."
There was a movie that came out a long time ago called Ed TV. Came out around the same time as Truman Show. And it was like,
I remember that.
yeah, and they were like,
Oh yeah, do you have to go in the doors, Bruce? Is that how it works?
I don't know, man.
This is so stupid.
Yeah.
Let that
These
Sam.
video games.
What I
Change characters.
Why?
hit Y.
No, that's.
Yeah, no, you don't have a roster of characters to change it to yet. If anyone knows how to do this, please tweet at me.
There's
Please,
the
God.
sparkling thing on the top there. It's sparkling up there.
No, I tried.
Try using a character with superhuman.
Believe me, I
Oh.
want to pick up
Shoot-
this controller and throw it at the fucking
silver ball with your
TV.
missiles. Shoot the silver ball with your missiles. Switch to Iron Man.
You know, someone with superpower senses, like
No,
Tony Stark.
I'm telling you, they see that stuff. Hold X. Oh, not that. Hold X.
This is good for audio
Target it.
listeners.
Adam, shut up.
This is great for audio listeners.
Shut up, dude.
This is fantastic for audio
Hey,
listeners.
hey, Adam, you produce. Why don't you produce the podcast from now on?
They'll figure it out. Hey, okay, now that's.
That
the
made
thing.
no fucking sense.
Well, wait, what does that do then?
I hate these games.
You build a thing now, and it probably makes a water pump.
Oh yeah, that's exactly. He's absolutely right. 100%.
Hold
right.
B to build.
Anyways, Civil War.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
I mean, I really liked it. Now I was talking to. Oh, fuck me, stupid dude. I was talking to. Let's see, I talked to 2 people. One of which was Matt Peak, who was saying, it was all right. He was like,
Yeah?
I was kind of bored by it. I was like, I wasn't invested in the characters. I was like, oh, well, how come? And he was like, well, I only saw like the first Avengers and the second Avengers like once. I don't think he might even said I didn't see them. And I was talking with Adam yesterday. I was like, what is a good entry point into the Marvel Universe? Because it's so large. And I was sitting down thinking, I was watching Thor, and I was like, ooh, that's not really a good entry point.
Jessica Jones and the Punisher movie starring Dolph Lundgren.
Jessica Jones, I feel like you could get into. It's sort of a procedural.
Really?
It's a simple television show to watch. It's not hard.
But it also does, like watching the entire season. That's a lot of time.
Because I feel like there are a lot
No,
of
I was being facetious. That show's garbage.
Well, no, it's
Oh,
not very
Jesus.
good, but
I did not like Jessica Jones at all. The same way I don't like Daredevil anymore.
Shoot at the
Oh
silver
wow,
things on the right.
you've gone all the way around on that one.
Daredevil's bad. The action stuff's cool. I mean, here's the best thing about Daredevil is Daredevil. Punisher's okay.
Yeah.
But like, what happened was someone sat in a room and they said, we're gonna make Daredevil a 1-hour show. And then they looked at the show and they went, shit, we made Daredevil a 1-hour show.
What are we
It should have
gonna
been
do?
22 minutes long.
Yeah, it actually should be.
Yeah, I'm trying to get through it right now. I'm just like, Jesus, what a slog.
But I mean, like, so I was just trying to think
Does
of
it
the
get really
movies,
slow?
like which movies you show
It
someone.
starts slow.
Because like for Harry Potter, for me that was the third one. It was Prisoner of Azkaban that got me into Harry Potter, and I hadn't read the books or anything like that. So with Marvel, if you're not reading the comic books, which movie will get you in the best?
There you go.
And I would guess it's probably like Captain America: Winter Soldier, or
Yeah, that's a good point.
like I don't know. See, I don't.
You and I were having this
Iron Man.
discussion yesterday, and it's the sort of thing where it's like you can't really appreciate the meatloaf until you get through your vegetables.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed Avengers a lot because I watched all the other movies, and I don't think any of the movies are bad.
No, they're not bad.
But some of them, like Thor, is just kind of like meh.
Yeah.
Thor 2, even more meh.
I didn't see it.
It's a different level of meh. Like some people really like it. Not my type of movie.
Yeah.
Iron Man's good. Iron Man 2's okay. Iron Man 3's blah. Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with Thor though? Is it because that guy is not that personable?
It is. It's just It's a hard movie to care.
I didn't mind.
I
I
don't
actually
know.
didn't mind Thor, but I was one of the only people that did. So I was fine with it. And like to me, it's sort of like oh look, they're like talking Shakespeare in a modern world thing. You know, like that's basically.
I thought that was
what it
cute.
is.
The fish out of water.
I thought the Asgard production design was really,
Oh,
really
the,
cool.
was pretty cool.
all that stuff's neat. The Bifrost, all that coolness,
neat.
like all that's like a beautiful giant CGI world. But when they're like, Thor, you don't know how to use this hammer. out with thee
Yeah.
until you learn your lesson 36 hours from now. And then he's like, I've learned my lesson, Dad. Here's my hammer. I'm going to fight a robot now. Okay. Once again, like I said, though, it was a big buildup for me is for like Avengers or Civil War, like these big ensemble pieces.
Yeah.
That to me is always the payoff, is like we're getting to this, to see Spider-Man in like talking to Tony Stark, like in a room. I was giddy. I was a child again. I had a giant smile. I couldn't stop shaking. I'm like, Tony Stark is now talking to Spider-Man. This was really fucking cool. And like that, those are the things that I live for. Like those are really freaking awesome. Even like Ant-Man just showing up, like that's what makes these things cool.
So yeah, so I actually thought the Spider-Man part was too long. I was like,
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like Spider-Man at this point is more like approachable than almost any other superhero because he's been around in the movie-verse for so long.
Okay.
At least they didn't do his backstory.
And well, no, I don't. Thank God they didn't do an origin story. I would have killed myself. But I mean, like,
Uncle Ben's like, I'm going for coffee. He's like, I'll see ya. And then he looks out his
Tony's
window.
there.
Oh no, he's dead.
Where's Uncle Ben?
So you were saying?
Spider-Man, you got to come here and help me fight these guys.
Yeah.
no, I'm glad they didn't do that. No, I appreciate that. However, I just thought it was like, oh, it's Tony Stark's being so clever, haha, and like Aunt May loves Aunt May. Oh, that's cute. And like, neat. I thought it was all they had to do was be like, like Tony Stark shows up, says one or two things to this kid that he knows is already Spider-Man. He's like, oh, maybe you want to come help me. And
It was
that
a
would
cool
be that.
throwback and nod to the Civil War comic.
Yeah.
See, and again, I don't have that reference.
Yeah.
I do not have that point of reference. So I was like, okay, I get it. He's Spider-Man. Move on.
Well, I don't think you didn't need that.
Well, apparently you did. 'cause Bruce
For me,
found that
I didn't
scene
care.
Kind of
I
black.
was just, and I also like I heard so much about it. I was like, just getting through it.
I was
Like,
surprised that the Spider-Man thing was as long as it was. I thought he was just going to show up at the airport,
That's what I thought.
like in the trailer. I thought it was like this thing where they're halfway through filming the movie. They're like Disney called and like, hey guys, guess what, Russo brothers?
Yeah.
We got the rights. And they're like, but we filmed the movie. They're like, film it again.
Yeah, no,
and
I
they're
know.
like, oh shit. And they have to go back and add Spider-Man.
Credit to them though, they did a great job in
Yeah.
integrating that compared to the Justice League. Like let's show 30 seconds of video of Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg.
Oh,
so,
Jesus.
yeah,
man.
I appreciated that.
Once again, JV versus the NFL.
Totally.
It's like these are the pros who have been doing this for 10 plus years now,
Yeah.
who know what they're doing and they got a pretty good game plan versus the guys who are trying to make a rip-off version,
Yeah.
kind of. I wouldn't say a rip-off version, but they're
Doing the same
They're trying to
movie-
copy the formula and it's not
movieverse.
working.
Yeah.
So Bruce, you hit on something that I've been waiting to happen, and it's kind of the problem of easy entry points versus rewarding people that feel like they have invested. So comic books, and the reason I got out of them, like I read them for a while when I was in high school,
Yeah.
and then
We all
ultimately I
did.
realized, wait, this is just it's a never-ending story that exists only to reference other never-ending stories. And then the value is that you catch all the references, so you feel like somebody out there both acknowledges and rewards the time that you feel like you've spent getting to know these characters in this universe. And occasionally there is a story of great meaning that you can actually take something away from, and I feel like Civil War has those notes. But at the same time, based on what you're saying, it sounds like it's starting to get into territory where if you don't know the references, suddenly part of the meaning is gone.
For me,
Yeah.
yeah, for me. And like I'm purposefully avoiding the comic books now because I want to not have that point of reference. Like I think it definitely helps you. I know you talked a lot about how it helps you with Justice League and Batman and stuff like that. Where like you got a lot more from that movie than I did. I mean that's
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Well, totally.
And I
There's a right way and a wrong way. Batman vs. Superman was definitely the wrong way.
But since you had that backstory of all those comic books of Batman and Superman, you knew that whole thing. You could at least come away with different morals and different lessons.
I walked away from Civil War with almost the exact same thought though I had for Batman vs. Superman was it wasn't really a good movie. It wasn't a good film. It was an entertaining film. But like in terms of like any sort of cinematography or anything that like makes a film, like compare Revenant to Civil War where you're like,
Oh, sure, yeah.
like this thing is a piece of art, like the way it is shot, the way it's acted, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay, we're doing it. We're doing it.
At what point did the audio go out? Oh, Omar wouldn't.
Omar wouldn't know.
No,
Neither would Dan.
he was here.
Yeah, how does anyone know how long it's been out?
It shouldn't have been for that long.
It's less than 5 minutes.
Oh shit, that's
Oh
still
boy.
pretty
They,
long.
when I came out here and got Omar, it just happened.
How do you know it went out?
Okay, somebody says audio's, I got a tweet, audio's back on.
Audio's back on? We did it?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for letting us know on Twitter and
Thank
also
you.
playing the game for us.
So
That's
picking-
not facetious, thank you.
Picking up what we were talking about, Batman v Superman versus Civil War, I didn't think it had the most important aspect of any film, which is typically like character design, or
Character development?
Development,
Yeah.
I guess is probably the better.
Kind of hard to do when you have 15 superheroes in a movie.
That's not true. No, I thought.
I was saying
War,
Batman vs Superman. Sorry.
I thought Civil War had it. I thought Batman vs Superman did not.
You were correct.
And that was my most important. When I watched Civil War, I enjoyed every scene.
Yeah.
Every single scene, I was like I thought it was funny when he kisses Sharon, and he looks over and they both go.
Yeah.
They nod, and I laughed.
Oh, yeah, that was really
because
cute.
that was cute. Like it was funny.
Well, it's moments of humanity injected into something that is innately inhuman,
Right.
which is what Batman v Superman had nothing of.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a very sterile, inhuman movie. There was not really a moment of levity or humanity or interaction of any kind in that film.
Yeah. So for you're right about the cinematography. Like it's just a movie. It's just like barely an HBO series.
Right.
When it comes to cinematography.
Well, it's funny, yeah, and then like going to like watching Game of Thrones and it's like, this show shot really well. Why aren't Marvel movies shot really well? But it's also because they're like, we are on a time crunch and we got to get this stuff done. And we got like 1,300 VFX shots I got to get done, and we're going to shoot this whole thing on a green screen. So shut up, we just made $1 billion. I'm like, okay, hey,
It's an
sure
interesting
movie.
side effect of having post-credit sequences where you have to sit through the 18 VFX houses that all chipped into some scene.
yeah,
You're
You're
I know.
like China's doing really well.
me, man, there's a lot of people on this film.
But like but the writing, acting, directing of Civil War was amazing.
No,
I mean, like
they're always really well cast. They're really well done.
they did a really, really good job in,
No.
in keeping giving all those actors the right amount of screen time and making it fun to watch.
Well, there's a throwaway line from Ant-Man, or Paul Rudd, where he just goes, he's like, my friend told me never trust a Stark. And you're like, hell yeah. Well, the Michael Douglas thing. And like, and then you go, oh yeah, there was a little bit of a backstory there.
And
And like,
goes, who are you?
yeah.
Because he doesn't know, and
Yeah.
that's what I love about this is that like these people like he says Arrow Man, like he didn't know.
Yeah.
He's like I don't know who you are, but shoot me, like.
Right.
I really appreciated that because like we all know who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Well,
they
those are
don't
the
know.
things. I mean, it's kind of funny because you were talking about the comic book references. The movies are kind of becoming the comic book references, where it's like there's going to be some guys. There was actually a couple who sat next to me. I could see the girl doing this,
Oh no.
Oh, no.
and this was maybe I don't know. Half an hour before Spider-Man even showed up, and he was like, the guy was like, "You okay?" And she's like, "I'm tired," and they left, and I was like, "That's so sad," and I just stretched out. I felt so good.
Maybe she was sick or something. Oh,
Maybe she just looked tired. It was a late show. We went to like a 10:30, which means the movie didn't start till 11:20. Because fuck, there's a lot of movie trailers, yeah, and commercials, and the movie just doesn't
thanks
start
for
when
tuning
it's
in.
yeah.
First look.
Yeah. You got an exclusive look at this.
Rizzoli and Isles. You're like, why? No, I don't want Rizzoli and
You've
Isles.
seen how Sprite can inspire people all over the world.
I hate those fucking things.
Coca-Cola did a thing.
Make sure to come to the theater early next week for your first look.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want.
absolutely not.
Yeah, I just didn't want to get my seat stolen, even though I paid for a reserved spot.
I finished dinner early. That's the only reason I'm here.
Forgot where I was going with that.
Well, I mean, I think it's just that it's
That thing.
we're gonna hit a cutoff pretty soon where the Marvel movies depend on other Marvel movies to the extent that you can't go see them, and to a degree that's smart business because if they're gonna watch one movie they have to watch 12, but at some
also
point,
you're eliminating audience there.
old people are
Right.
gonna be like, man, fuck.
But
this."
I like those good those little throwaway lines where they're just sort of like, I think they did that in one of the last,
Go
I
ahead,
think,
Iron Man, come on.
I don't know, they mentioned, they did a throwaway line in one of the previous movies where they just kind of mentioned Spider-Man. And they were just like, yeah, there's some guy crawling around somewhere. And I was like, hey, all right, hey. Yeah, dumb little things like that. I like those. And then seeing stuff like when they do the power combination. So there's a really quick scene where they did it in the first Avengers. They did that one huge tracking shot where they're following Iron Man. Iron Man quickly drops down and fires his repulsor ray
the shield.
at the shield, and then you're like, the shield reflects it because it's vibranium, and that's the thing they do in the comics. And I was like, this is cool. And then Ant-Man on the arrow. I'm like, this is all dumb stuff they've done in the comics where somebody who's very smart goes, wouldn't it be cool if? And then they draw it, and then they write about it, and now people are going, hey, that was cool, let's put it in our movie. And that sort of stuff excites me.
It is very, very exciting. And
They did fastball special in Deadpool as well. What's that? Colossus. He usually throws Wolverine, but he hucked it.
That's
Deadpool.
right. Perfect example in Civil War is I totally forgot, and I would have known this had I talked to somebody about it beforehand, and I'm glad I didn't.
Where'd Tyrone go?
Which was.
Omar threw him.
Oh, come on.
He's
That's
back there.
rest in peace.
Ant-Man gets big. And I was like, and when he got big, I was like,
big old bug
holy
eyes.
shit, that's right. Like that's why I was more excited about Ant-Man than I was about Spider-Man.
So, and that right there actually it does not matter at all, but that was a reference to Civil War, the comic series, where there was a character named Goliath. I think he was the only casualty, spoiler, everyone's like, who the fuck's Goliath?
Yeah.
But he was the only casualty in the whole thing because Reed Richards made a Thor clone named Ragnarok or whatever.
Holy balls.
Yeah, exactly. And he calls him into this. They all fight like in an alley, and then Goliath gets big and he's fighting, which is basically what Ant-Man was doing.
Yeah.
And Thor, fake Thor, kills him, and then they're all like, "Oh God, what are we doing?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and
What
then
happened?
Yeah, and then Susan Storm's like, "Reed Richards, you're an asshole," and he's like, "Shut up," and
Shut up, bitch.
yeah, and it's all terrible, and then it ends shortly after that. But
I just thought of another thing about Iron Man's emotional, which is War Machine crashes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He just blasts Hawkman or whatever the fuck his name is. James Wilson.
yeah,
I always forget
Falcon Man.
He called his bird Red Wing.
And in both showings when he does that, the whole audience goes, "Oh," like that, because they're not used to seeing him emotional.
My audience laughed.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
well, my audience got
I thought it was
yeah,
kinda
they were
funny.
upset.
It's kind of both. It can be taken both ways.
Well, he's pissed at that
Yeah.
point. He's actually angry.
Yeah, but he should be pissed at Vision, because Vision shot him.
Well, he didn't know.
Yeah.
See, Iron Man kept acting on things he didn't know. And that's why I was bothered by it. But
Well, see, and I feel like, and granted, you can't hit everything, but I was kind of hoping there would be some analog to like the U.S. invading Iraq and not finding any
yeah.
weapons of mass destruction. Like you acted on bad intelligence and hurt a lot of people because of it.
yeah.
Maybe you could draw a parallel there.
Well, he
but-
did. I mean, he did act on bad intelligence. He kept going after Bucky, and it turns out that other guy was Bucky with the prosthesis.
Iron Man never hurt anybody. Meanwhile, Cap is defending Bucky and giving like people broken backs and shattering their clavicles and stuff. He fucked up a lot of people. He didn't kill anybody, but there's like 18 dudes in traction.
Yeah, he did
I was
take
kind of
Batman.
hoping at some point there, and I know I'm asking for too much, but it would have been kind of cool if Cap had to go to like the hospital and talk to like the Italian special
You're right.
forces.
Yes, you're
be
absolutely right.
He was my friend.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't give a fuck.
You don't get it. We were both frozen.
I can't walk. But you're alive. I don't care.
But it's more in Italian. so-
Yeah. More to tell you, it's been a cool. Anyway, speaking of underoos,
Oh, Underoos, yeah.
if
Wow.
Nice.
you'd
one.
like to feel like Spider-Man every morning,
I do,
you
yes.
should buy a pair of Mack Weldon underwear because man, they got all kinds of like tactical lacing, industrial stitching. You slap one of those on your junk and you feel like a superhero. It's
I'm wearing
great.
mine.
Yeah, I am too.
I think I am too.
Man, I need to buy more. The rotation's getting pretty thin.
Really?
There we go.
Yeah.
We actually, we do need more.
Yeah, these are mine.
There we go.
Oop, you can see my mole.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got them all right there.
Look at that.
But then you can see my pubes.
All
That's
right.
bad.
Okay.
Good ad
Not
read.
bad. Hey,
You enjoying this, audio listeners?
Last time James showed his ass, the sales went crazy.
Really?
Turns out sex sells.
I need to do more squats if we're gonna sell that kind of underwear.
That's right. So if you live a tech, oh yeah, her, I forgot about her. Yeah, she should have been in Civil War somewhere. Anyway, if you like tech, and let's be honest, we love tech. This is new tech underwear, man. You wear an Apple Watch, you wear your damn Google Glass, look like an idiot. Might as well look cool in some tech underwear. This shit's antimicrobial, dog. Woven into the fabrics. That means that despite how stank your ass might get, your underwear is always gonna smell clean. You do have to wash it though. Don't not wash it.
Yeah, once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, but people like on calls and stuff. Mack Weldon has suggested, it's great gym equipment because, so after a while, I'll have athletic shorts and I'll use them, and then after like 6 months, that smell just doesn't go away. It's just there. That's usually when I toss them and buy a new pair. But those Mack Weldons, man, they're still smelling like a rose, provided you wash it.
That's my general rule. Is like you can wear the other stuff pretty much all throughout the week. The minute you work out in them, it's like it's time for a wash.
Yeah.
It's just a good rule, though.
Time to put it through the washer. Also, they also suggest if you're the type to maybe play video games and you don't want to get up or do things like take a shower, just strap on some Mack Weldons. You can play Uncharted 4 from start to finish. And you might smell, but your underwear won't. That's a Mack Weldon guarantee. So, and if you find that you got unacceptable levels of stank after stewing in your own filth for 20 hours, you can send it back and they'll refund you, no questions asked. So they got a risk-free trial offer, basically. You can go to MackWeldon.com/podcasts and use our promo code SOUP to get 20% off your order, which is actually pretty generous and pretty awesome for how some of these underwear are. And I feel good.
Might have to jump in on that.
Yeah, once more, that's MackWeldon.com/podcasts. That's with an S. And get 20% off using our promo code SOUP. So thank you, Mack Weldon. Thank you for cradling. I turned into a teapot. Thank you for cradling my genitalia like you have all of these months. It's been a wonderful journey we've been on together.
It's been good.
Yeah, it's been mighty fine. So I'm not sure how runtime's going to shake out since we started late and then also audio cut out for a couple minutes.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. No.
Well, we can move on to the next topic, I guess.
Oh yeah. Man, Bruce indicated that he had some bombshells to drop.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I want to tell it.
No?
How much time is left in the podcast?
Plenty. I'm going to say based on what happened, we have 20 more minutes. Is it?
Tell the story.
I have to do more research.
Really?
What? Why?
I do because there is actual research involved in this.
Wow.
Story. And it's not video game related. It's personally.
That's fine.
I know. I want to hear the personal stuff.
It's all really good stuff.
Damn it.
But I do need to do more research. I
That
apologize.
sounds so cool, though.
I apologize. It's like once I tell the story, it's gonna be really quick. It'll be like a 5-minute story.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
You
it'll
just
be,
got to make sure all your.
Can you give us a primer? Anything?
it's something about my family history.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, Pocahontas
So you're both
wasn't
Jewish
no,
and Native American and Asian, I think?
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing that I've been wrong about. That's for
Of course not.
Oh no! Why would you be?
Hey, it's my family history, guys.
Did
How
you
would
go,
you guys?
Did you go to like familytree.com and they're like, yeah, it says you're white.
No, I think my mom did.
Mr. Green,
I think-
this is unprecedented.
I think-
You are every ethnicity all at the same time.
Oh my God! So you might be related to Blackbeard, is what you're
You're
saying?
definitely related to
I
Black.
wish
famous
I was.
pirate.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Related to Hitler, to Goebbels, all at the same time. George Washington's in there too.
You're the last descendant of Hitler.
Basically,
Bruce
Hitler-
Green.
Dan just said that he's actually related to Blackbeard.
I believe
Everyone
that.
thinks they're related to Blackbeard.
He's not a pirate.
Ask Dan how he knows, and then we'll get back to that.
Basically,
All right, next week's episode will be an ancestry-filled.
boy, those bombshells are going to drop. Boom, boom.
Funhaus
Bombs over
ancestry.
Baghdad,
Yeah.
which Bruce is also from. It's going to be great. Bruce is basically a history textbook orgy, all in one man.
Look, it's not my fault. I'm such an amazing,
Like crazy.
multi-racial creature.
Bruce
You're
is,
right.
is the alpha man. He's the Renaissance man. Yeah, Beethoven also. Fucked. And that's in there. You can
What?
see it. Bruce is a maestro.
So what's your next topic?
Next topic. Internet's mean, man.
They are really, really mean.
So it's interesting because I feel like this phenomenon has been abnormally common lately, or maybe it's just because people are talking about it, it becomes more common. So, you know, the Ghostbusters trailer, the most disliked trailer on YouTube, movie trailer, I should say, because the most disliked trailer is the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer.
Got him.
And then there's also we reported on it on the Know lately. There's people like to bandwagon on Steam reviews. I don't know, man. People seem to be realizing that this is like a disturbing trend now of people just kind of forming mobs on the internet and being mean at something.
Sure.
Am I alone in thinking this is nothing new?
It's just bigger and louder.
I guess that's it.
I don't know.
It's
My frustration comes from the fact that, similar to the people who hit a like button on Facebook, they think they're doing something. Like, other than some PR guy at Activision going, "Oh shit, what's going on? Like, why are they disliking this video?"
Yeah.
And that's about it. Like, it's not doing anything. Like, you hit a button all you want. This happened to us a long time ago, without naming names. But back when we started doing a daily news show, I know, this is the greatest game ever
That's
made.
gonna be great.
Yeah.
I can't. do
Mr.
it.
Fantastic can turn into a teapot.
This game is amazing.
Are you entertained yet?
I don't think you hit the
Child?
Maybe you weren't in the right spot.
Where's the great?
I don't know. Stand on it. Hit B.
Who cares?
There we go.
Well, he can
Just
float.
tap it.
That's his thing.
There he goes.
Yeah. Oh, or whatever. Who
Good
cares?
stuff.
But this happened to us. We switched formats. We went to a daily news show.
Yeah.
And we said a mean thing to someone, kind of in the way that we do, sort of not really caring. And then we got an internet mob sent at us. And guess what?
Yeah.
And guess what they did?
I remember that.
Guess what they did?
I'm pretty sure they didn't do anything.
They disliked the video, and I think this was when it was still.
They just liked the video and left some like angry comments.
I think this is when
And
it was
then
still a star system.
a day later.
Maybe.
A day later, they just forgot about it.
Well, it also gave us a lot of views, and then it got us like kind of into the search algorithm, and then the next episode did really well, and then the show kind of took off after that.
Well,
So I was like, well,
As
you just-
evidenced by a lot of YouTubers.
So
starting
yeah.
a bitch fight to get attention to yourself does work.
I guess, yeah, and it's not a game I've ever been interested in playing, to start any sort of beef on the internet or anything like that. But I mean, it's whenever I don't know, it's this weird thing where like, I guess if people think if they hit the dislike button hard enough, it will make this game go away, or they'll just sell Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4, they'll just sell it as a standalone,
Yeah,
which they'll
that's-
probably do eventually if you just wait.
That's the weird thing. The idea that that companies give a shit about sentiment, and they do to a degree, but they're in it for the money. And if
Yeah.
Call of Duty still sells and people go see Ghostbusters, they don't give a shit what you think on YouTube.
There's
I don't know.
there's a fantastic video Freddie Wong did about the Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
I didn't see it, but
Or-
that's
or-
a whole other thing.
Where he's playing an executive and he's breaking it down, or he's like, I don't give a shit about race or sex or anything that I basically put these things in a computer, and if it doesn't sell, I'm not gonna sell it. And it's just like, there's a lot of just cold calculations that go into things being made.
It amazes me that people make what is a money issue an emotional issue, and I guess on the Ghost in the Shell thing, it gets to issues of diversity and representation, and I understand that can be emotional.
Yeah.
But it's just amusing to me that an anime movie is the thing that rubbed everybody wrong, whereas like, I mean, The Departed is a remake of a Chinese like espionage film.
Sure.
And
But
nobody gave a shit that they recast all the Chinese actors in that, did they? I don't know, man. Also, there are Asian remakes of American films. Are people in America mad that the white roles are being given away to Japanese people for the remake of Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
I mean, there's a flip side to it too. Like in China, apparently there was a big worry that the movie wouldn't do so well because one of the main protagonists was black, and apparently Chinese people just don't like black people, and
Wait,
so they.
which movie?
For Force Awakens, sorry. I think I was talking about. But yeah, there was worry that Star Wars wouldn't do so well because I guess there's a racial problem that I am unaware of. But
Like the shield thing?
no,
No, China, they're super racist.
But yeah, but either way, that was the whole thing. The poster, BB-8's huge, and Finn's like crammed in the back. Like that guy's the main character, and it's like so. I don't know. It goes both ways, but.
You got to stand on the thing in the middle and then deflect the shield. That's what you got to do.
Shut up.
What?
There's like a Captain America icon in the center there. And stand on that fucking thing.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, we did it. You might have to actually. There you go.
Yeah.
Direct the beam at the thing.
And shoot up in the middle.
Lego. Oh, I think you got to shoot it at the top there. The little.
No,
sparking box.
I'm getting things.
Oh yeah, you're getting bits.
I look at.
Anyway,
I found an
so
exploit.
what's your takeaway from people being upset on the?
I don't know. I think this is just the internet now.
Of course.
I think it's in as much as like it seems that it's a couple of things, and this is going to be patronizing, which I know is very uncharacteristic for me. But I think it's people realizing that feelings aren't as important as money, and that human beings like to gang up on something. Like if there's
Mob
a smelly
mentality.
if there's a smelly kid in class, everybody's going to make fun of him. So the second that mass disliking a trailer picks up steam, everyone's going to do it because everyone likes to feel solidarity and hating a dumb thing.
Well, what I don't like is the hive mind mentality, where someone basically, the king from on high comes down and goes, "Everyone, we don't like Call of Duty and we like Witcher. Good night." And then everyone goes, "Okay, got it."
Thanks for letting us know.
And it's just a big thing that I preach about individuality is like just think for yourself. Like if you like Call of Duty, like it, but also at the same time, if you don't like something, you don't need to bust into someone's face and tell them
I
they're-
don't like it.
Well, it's like, it's like I don't like it, so you shouldn't like it. And you're like, because now it's more
not
like
us.
it's like it's mob recruitment, and I don't like that. I don't like the if you're not with us, you're against us sort of mentality. And it's like these are also products for a fucking toy.
Yeah.
So who really cares?
We're
Like
tribal about it.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a strange thing to have an attachment to.
I mean, it's weird, but I mean, yeah, Adam, you're absolutely right. It would be fantastic if everyone in this world could think for themselves, but they don't want to.
Well, it's hard.
And it's also kind of contrary to human nature. So I think what's kind of interesting to see is a lot of the discussions around this seem to be idealism dying. It's like, oh, I thought the internet would be different. I thought that this free exchange of ideas would make people more open-minded and objective about things. Nope. People still like a good old-fashioned mob every now and then.
Not in all
Well,
circles.
I don't know. I feel like it's made me more of an individual by being able to do research and look into things. This has always been sort of my mantra. Is like go out there, educate yourself, listen to other opinions of other people, be respectful of those opinions, and then form your own opinion. And be respectful to other people when explaining your opinion. That's just kind of how I've always been, or I've tried to carry myself. And I obviously have my shortfalls and my failings, and no one's fucking perfect. And I will sometimes just get like, I'll devolve into like, fuck this shit, like, and for no real reason. But it's just sort of like, keep yourself in check. It's just a good life lesson. I don't know.
Well, if you can't, my rule has always been if you can't justify your opinion, then it's not an opinion. So
Well,
like if you can't come up with a reason for why you think something, like this is something that I've noticed with a lot of different people in general. Like if you ask somebody like why'd you do that, and they don't know, there's a serious problem. Like there are reasons why. Everybody has a reason why. But if they don't know the reason, then you might want want to like dive back a little further into your head and be like,
Yeah.
why did I do that? Oh, I did it because of this.
Well, that's the echo chamber or the parrot mentality that always kind of scares me, is that people go, well, I watched this one guy's review of a video game, and he said all the things that I believe. So I believe that. And like, did you? Or are you just going along with everything that the person said? Or did you go, I enjoyed that review, or I enjoyed that thing, but there were a few things that that person was incorrect about, or that I do not feel the same, rather than just basically just being a parrot and repeating what the person is saying. Like,
Go backwards and think to yourself, why do I agree with this guy? And it's like, oh, I agree with this point and this point, but I may not agree with this point. And it's like, you have to be a little more self-aware. We always talk about being self-aware, and that's something that's really important.
It's a hard thing to do.
The older you get, the more self-aware you become, I think. Another good line from Civil War is when Iron Man says like something to the effect of like, he basically tells Captain America, like, you can't stop caring. And Captain America goes, oh, I wish I could. And Iron Man goes, no, you don't. And Captain America goes, you're right, I don't.
Yeah.
So, and I appreciated that because it's like, basically like, they're both very self-aware. They both know what the other person thinks and what they think and why.
Well, I think it was also important because I think that was Cap realizing that he loves fighting and he loves fixing problems.
Yeah.
Which,
well, Iron Man too.
Iron Man too.
yeah, Iron Man as well. Although I feel like Iron Man got to a point where it was interesting because they both were the same type of person, but I feel like they're changing in different ways now, which is great because that's character development.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
But you can argue that, and yeah, Bruce, what you were saying about how Iron Man was much more emotional, he certainly took the guilt of his actions much more to heart than Cap did. I feel like
Yes,
Cap
he
did the
did.
same thing,
Yeah.
but he was like, it's necessary. And
Yes.
he didn't waver in his commitment, whereas Iron Man was like, okay, we've gone too far.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I don't think there's a right and a wrong there.
No, yeah.
The only right and wrong is how it turned out, not necessarily in the philosophy behind it, which is really smart for a comic book movie, which is usually about muscle men punching each other.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But
They still the punching.
yeah, you still have to punch
And the
on it.
punching was
Still got
good.
the punching, I
You
don't
can
know.
have both. Yeah, it's really bizarre, and to one of, I think Adam was talking about it, how people just kind of lift their opinions from somebody who's well spoken, or maybe just has a certain tone of voice. Which, yeah, that's part of human nature too. People often tailor their beliefs to the things they like versus believing in the things that make sense. So if there's somebody that has like a nice voice or good looks, they tend to believe that they're correct. One thing that makes me bail out of a conversation immediately, and this happens a lot on Twitter, is somebody like yell at me and I'll engage them and be like, well, what were you mad about? And then they're like, you're wrong. And I'm like, okay, let's talk
Why?
about that.
Yeah.
Why? And if the thing they do is go watch this video, it'll explain everything. I'm like, nope.
Oh, yeah.
You've completely lost me.
You have to explain.
Yeah, you don't even know.
Why? The video already did it for me.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's like you don't even know the point. You just know that you heard it once and it made sense to you then, and that you're on that side now because you made that emotional decision at some point. But you can't even articulate. You can't even articulate it now. So no, thank you.
I did a video where I was talking about, this is just my personal thing, but I was talking about why I like BioShock. And so I saw,
yeah.
and people were,
Games I like.
yeah, and people sent me this video, goes, this guy made a video where he says BioShock's bad. And I'm like, that's neat.
Yeah,
That's
we
cool.
both have opinions.
Yeah, that's cool. His video came out a long time ago. My video's out now, and I'm saying why I like a thing. They're like, yeah, but this is why he doesn't like it. I'm like, I'm not interested in that. I've been hearing for years why people don't like BioShock Infinite, and enough time has gone by where I formed my own opinion and said, you know what? This game still makes me feel good, so I'm gonna continue playing it and tell people why I like it. I'm not gonna say this is why you should like it, because I'm not interested in changing your opinion at all. Right. If anything, it's like, I'm trying to just sort of explain myself to you and why I like the things that I like. And that's all it really is. It's like I don't know, like a self-reflection character study almost. Or it's just like, that's all it is. But people like to just essentially go like, they like to take a thing that you like and go, well, you're wrong, and this thing's better.
Well,
and you're like,
that's what we were just talking. That's how the discussion started. It's like the
I
internet
don't
is
know.
mean.
Yeah.
They like to tell you.
I guess.
That you're wrong, and here's why. And like we always say, like opinions aren't wrong.
Yeah, it's the difference between purely wanting to communicate and understand versus wanting to be right. And so much of the internet wants to be right.
Yeah.
And I guess so much of humanity wants to be right.
Oh, yeah.
We always
It's comfortable being right. It's the hardest thing in the world to be around a different idea and be at peace with it. You know, case in point, let's say if you're a political conservative, try watching MSNBC. Just do it. And don't get mad. Don't look at your phone. Just actively listen and take in what they're saying.
Listen to what they're
Same with somebody who might lean liberal. Watch some Fox News. Just watch it.
Sure.
And you might like try not to yell at the TV, and just realize that like people have different ideas, and that's okay. But and this is kind of what I was getting to. The idea of compromise
Smarter characters.
is just
It's so stupid.
Reed Richards is a genius.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And it's
sorry.
stretchy.
Cap America's stupid.
Oh yeah, I think you have to
I
extinguish
know.
the fire with a shield.
I
Great.
know.
It's the great. There.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I don't know how he got over here. I didn't tell him to.
I know.
It's
He's so smart.
I just wish that there's a lot of discourse now about acceptance and diversity, and that's good. But it's funny how twisted the logic can get. Like you have to accept diversity in the way that I do, or you're doing it wrong, which in its own way is not accepting at all.
No, yeah. It's not.
But it's weird though. Like you can't acceptance only goes so far, and this is when life gets really gray and weird. Like you can't be accepting of a neo-Nazi. Or something like that. Somebody who objectively says this race is bad, or something like that. I don't know. There's limits, of course.
I don't know. I mean, I can be understanding of it.
Well, that's a free speech. It's basically you let people say whatever they want. But when it comes to action, then then we got to start stopping people or not. Who knows what?
That's the whole thing. Is like, you can say and do whatever you want. Just realize there are consequences for your actions.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And so, I mean, like, it's my thing. I was just like, just don't be a shitty human being. Like, there's pretty general rules. You don't have to go to Sunday school and all this stuff to learn this thing. It's just kind of treat people the way you want to be treated and don't be a shithead. Like, that's sort of the general rules of life. Like, I don't know. It's like, don't stab a person because they said something you didn't like.
Because you don't want to get stabbed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, before you stab someone, you should stab yourself and see if you like it.
Yeah.
And go, I plan on stabbing this person in the heart. Let me see if it hurts them.
Ow!
Yeah, and then go, I shouldn't do that.
Shit, that hurts.
I recommend you watch a little film called Powder, where a deer is dying.
Oh man, always
And
bring up
Powder grabs the man, he grabs the deer, and the hunter goes, oh my God, this is what I've been doing to deer.
And it shoots the deer and eats it.
We should all powder ourselves before.
Man, that feels good.
Only the deer can taste itself.
Yeah.
Powder, get back in
I
here.
was gonna say, yeah, you can train.
And then the other thing too is like, it's even funny, even with the stuff that we're saying, nothing is absolute. Like Bruce and I have been having these discussions about, this relates, believe me, I'll get to there in a point. But it's about thumbnail design on the many channels for the many networks for the company we work for. And my philosophy typically is there is no philosophy. Like I got into this discussion with Omar. Hey, Omar.
This is getting deep.
No, not really. We were talking about clickouts for the video. And I forget we're getting kind of big now and like there are rules in place. But like Omar was saying, he's like, oh, I heard the general rule was for the clickouts at the end of the video, it has to be the last one that we did. And I go, I mean, honestly, it's what you feel like. Like, what do you feel as a person who works on the channel, what would make sense? Like for this podcast, like, oh, maybe there was an old podcast where we talked about Marvel or DC or something. That's kind of a relation. Like, it's sort of like, use your best judgment. Because my biggest fear is that when people get into this sort of like, we do this because, and this happened a lot at the last job we were at, Bruce, where we're like, why are we putting watermarks on videos? And they're like, because. I'm like, but why? And they go, because that's how it's been, and that's why we do it. And they're like, but it's bad. And they're like, I'm not interested in bad.
Well,
and then we got a lot of counter arguments of why it was good.
That is a studied phenomenon in human beings that they tend to trust the knowledge that has come before without really questioning it or asking for justification. And this is why, religion persisted through the ages. If so many people did it before, there must have been a reason for it, so it must be right. I mean, for a long time, this is getting into books that I read, but
I like books. Go on.
Truth was considered to be consensus. So if everyone believes it, it must be true because there's no reason all these people would be wrong. The logic is flawed. It wasn't until the scientific method that humanity actually had the tools to discover actual truth, aside from just belief. It was the process of not just gravitating towards what was known and familiar, but trying to actively disprove what you thought. And by doing that, you can separate yourself from your own particular biases, your own particular perception, and get actual data to say, no, this is how the world works. And
well, it's like what you're saying with like watching, if you're liberal, watch Fox, and vice versa. Watch MSNBC or whatever.
You gotta shoot a laser at a thing. You gotta build it.
You gotta build it
first.
Hit B.
Because Cap doesn't know how to reflect unless he's standing on his own symbol.
Mash B. Cat tap
Gotta
B.
hold it.
Oh, hold it? Oh, I always tap it. I'll go.
Yep.
Did your microphone tuck into your shirt?
Kind of did. It fell over. So you heard a lot of wow, so you almost changed someone's life, but then
but then it was just all
your
muffled.
shirt,
It's still there, right?
What?
It's still tucked in.
a little
What are you
bit.
talking about? How about that?
But no, just, this is actually, this is something I think when I started getting a little bit older was it's something I still preach, but it's like question everything and question yourself above all else. Like usually put yourself in someone else's shoes and go, am I the asshole? Am I being? And it's usually yes. You're the bad one. You're the
Children
problem.
are the
You're
ones
the
who-
problem.
Yeah. It's easier to turn outward than within.
Yeah. It's easy.
Examining yourself is scary because
is
you might
tough.
have to admit that you're wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. But then also not to. I don't know. It's just like assume nothing. Trust nothing, but also like just question everything. Like that is sort of, I think that's like Assassin's Creed or something.
Yeah, nothing's true and everything's permitted.
Assassin's Creed.
Well,
Those new pictures look pretty cool.
if you're tired of questioning everything,
there you
movement
go.
watches can at least give you some place of stability in this world by always telling you the time accurately and stylishly.
I think mine's upside down.
Movement Watches is sponsoring this podcast, in case that wasn't obvious. It's great because their whole goal is to provide fashionable timepieces at an affordable price. $95 is where they start. So if you're looking for a classic accessory to your wardrobe, don't buy an Apple Watch because you look like a douchebag. You heard me, Bernie. Instead,
And
buy a
Omar.
movement watch because you don't have to hit a button for it to tell you the time. Which is just, man, I don't get it. It's like a watch,
Oh.
but less functional.
You don't have to hit a button for it to tell you.
The Apple Watch?
Don't worry
Yes,
about
you
it.
do. The screen's black all the time.
Yeah, there's a. Don't worry about it.
Just turn it to you.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, Lawrence is gonna fight.
Maybe it's designed to do that, but I have not seen it work like that ever. Omar, fight me.
All right. Anyways, continue the.
Movement
epic.
watches are better, is what I'm saying. Cheaper, and they make you look cooler. That's true. So yeah, they're just a direct-to-consumer brand, which means they don't like go through stores or have to deal with any of that shit. They just make watches for you. So if you want to look cool in that bar, oh look at them. Look at them all wiggling.
You idiot! What, Captain America? What are you doing?
If you want to look cool at the bar, make sure you get a Movement watch because they're cheap and make you look sweet. So starting at $95, but you can get 15% off your order by going to movementwatches.com. So I got to spell this out because it's movement, but it's new age movement. So it's mvmtwatches.com/dudesoup, and you can get 15% off your entire order. What's more, that's mvmtwatches, watches.com/dudesoup for 15% off your entire order. Get you a watch today. Just get you a watch. I will say I used to have a watch like this, and it would always grab my wrist hair and just pinch all the fucking time. This thing, it's a dream. A little big though. That's okay. I just got to get it tailored.
Do it.
Does tailoring, is that a word for watches?
You take it to
To
a
a jeweler.
jeweler and they'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, they take a pin out, take one of the links out. What's the word for that?
I don't
Gotta
know.
get it jeweled.
Fitted.
Fitted. There we
I don't
go.
know. Yeah. Same people do like ring fittings and stuff like that. Yeah. It is an accessory.
I like red and black. In case that wasn't obvious.
It is. It's definitely. Ladies like it.
They do.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's classic fashion.
If you're balding just a little bit and you get a sweet Ferrari.
You need to
will
pull
find the love of
attention
your
away
life.
from the head. Pull it to the wrist. Big beefy wrist.
Hey, ladies, I'm down here.
Women, hey, stop looking at my timepiece. Look at my piece. Women love a good watch. I don't know. We're just lying now. It's true.
No, sure.
No, women love watches.
I love watches. Yeah.
At least from what I've seen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Is there another topic? Or are we okay?
I think we're done.
Are we
I think
done?
we're pretty much
You
done.
don't want to talk about the Assassin's Creed
Let's
photos?
do it. Oh man, those look like good photos.
Oh, for the movie?
I'm
Yeah.
not fucking holding my breath though.
I haven't
What?
I am not either.
I haven't seen them at all.
Like most things in this world, I've stopped getting hyped
So
about
wait,
them.
Where's the outrage that Fassbender is playing a Muslim?
Well, no, but he's going back in time. I know it should be a different actor. It shouldn't be him playing both.
It
But
shouldn't be shouldn't doesn't factor into it. I want people to get mad
well,
about.
like Bruce has he's got all that Pocahontas in him of he went into the Animus, and like Bruce would be playing Pocahontas.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Yes, it does.
They didn't look like Desmond in the game.
No, I know, but it's also a video game, and this is a movie. And if Fassbender's your draw, and he's
Fucking
also
Ghost
the
in the Shell
producer.
was a cartoon, and now people are getting mad about it. Oh wait, how unlike the internet to get mad about cartoons.
I guess that's kind of weird though.
Teenage Ninja Turtles can't be aliens.
I think people just really like Fassbender, and
So they're okay with it. People don't like ScarJo? She's awesome.
It's because she's a lady.
oh wow,
That's
you
not why.
Omar hates women.
Well, what's the difference then?
The difference is that
I don't know.
if that community decides to get upset, then they decide to get upset.
Well, but that's the thing that I find fascinating is the selective nature in which a mob will get mad at something.
Also, I haven't seen the movie and I haven't done much research. He might not be playing a Muslim.
I thought he was playing Altair.
No, he's not playing Altair.
Well, shit, man, fuck me then.
Yeah, sorry.
Oops.
I thought you knew something I didn't know,
No.
so I was.
I thought he was playing Altair.
No, I don't
What?
think so. I
Google
think, yeah, I mean, also, I kind of don't care because it's whatever. They're making an Assassin's
don't
Creed
care
movie, and
either.
it doesn't look terrible
I didn't
from
know
the
the
4
movie.
photos that I've seen.
Also, ScarJo's awesome.
She is.
I'm excited for that movie.
For Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah. No, you don't. Not feeling good about it.
Rewatched the movie recently, and it's good.
No, the '80s movie's not super hot. It's got great animation, but
Yeah.
it's really weird and kind of a downer and doesn't explain anything like most anime from that time.
And then they put her head on a little girl at the
Yeah.
end, and they were like, "Don't ask questions."
And the movie's over.
Yeah, it's a beautiful animated movie. I don't know if it's gonna make a great
Man,
film though.
speaking of movies that require previous knowledge, a lot of those feature films assumed that you had read all the manga. Because
Oh.
there's no establishment of like
Oh, that's
setting
true.
or anything.
Well, so that's another bigger issue I have with stuff. Like, so if there is let's say a series that has lasted for years, like Dragon Ball Z, why do we need to make a movie?
Like
Like-
a live action one?
Well, yeah. I was like,
Evolution?
well, I'm saying like, so like Attack on Titan, great anime, pretty good, a little slow, fine. But someone in their infinite wisdom was like, we need to make this into a film. Like, why do things need to be adapted?
Money.
Is that really it? That's
Yeah.
all? Okay, I guess. That makes
You
sense.
get multiple stabs at the same media property.
I guess I look at
They
stuff
gotta
like,
be games and books and
well, like,
cartoons.
so okay, well, look at something like the movie like The Matrix, which is like a ripoff of Snow Crash and 10,000 other anime, but it made its own thing. You know, it made it into its own original idea. It was just an amalgamation of a bunch of different ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I guess that's just harder to do, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Making an original. So it's again, it just comes down to money, and people like to turn it into a moral argument of, oh, you need to support new ideas and all that. But if it's your job to take this 40 million and turn it into 140 million by investing it in a movie property, you're probably going to invest it in the thing that's historically brings in money.
I will
which is a
adapt
known
Akira.
property. Yeah. Well, not even that shit, man. Even that's a little risky. But just making another Fast and Furious is a gimme, given how well they do, and it's just an established brand, and people are comfortable with it, and they'd rather spend money on something they know than something.
Well, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where it's like, it worked in the past, why doesn't it work now?
Yeah.
But like, that's like Saw, it just kind of started dwindling a little bit, because they're like, we'll just keep doing the same thing every year, because it worked last
As soon
year.
as it stopped, they retired it, and now
Yeah.
they're on to fucking Paranormal Activities.
Funny though, on that note, like the new Purge looks kind of good.
There's a new
I
thing.
keep waiting for Purge to get good,
I haven't
because
seen any of them yet.
it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know.
I think we're done.
I think
Sorry.
we're done.
Yeah.
We wanna
no
go out
more
on
Lego.
Purge?
I don't want to play any more Lego or talk about Purge.
Well, Bruce is getting on a plane, so
Yeah,
have
Oh,
fun.
you're leaving now?
We gotta do demo disc.
How long are you gone for?
I'm gone until Tuesday.
Oh,
I'll be
fuck.
back Tuesday.
You're all
going
leaving
to-
us.
Critical will
Yeah.
be there. Don't worry, you guys will have Yogs cast in tomorrow.
Yeah, we got Yogscast in tomorrow, and then Critical's coming in next week.
Yeah, Critical's coming in next week.
This is becoming a fun house.
Treehouse, man. All right, we're done. Man,
That's it.
I have to pee.
Yeah,
Bad.
me too.
Really? That's why I'm trying to drag this out. I want to see you wet yourself on live television, except it's the internet.
Thank you for helping us with Lego. The game's harder than it should be.
Man, Omar, thank you.
Yeah.
You're the best, Omar.
Omar is the best. These stupid Apple Watch.
These games
works.
These games are the
It's
worst.
Overwatch is like, okay, now we have a Team Fortress thing where we can have these, and obviously it's one giant different company. They all have their different PR departments.
Sure.
They're all doing things differently. But and Activision is still kind of in this antiquated, like old E3, like
Yeah,
when blogs
stage
were a
demos
thing.
and-
Yeah, or like they gotta wow the trilbies. Like it's a
Wow, that's a hell of a phrase.
Wow, the
I like that.
trilbies.
Yeah, anyway, I was cooking that one. So their PR department, yeah, they're a bit older, probably wiser, and they're like, this is how it works, this is how it works. And yeah, you know,